right, 9.8, add and subtract mixed numbers with regrouping. I keep saying this one is going to be coming. It's finally here. So hopefully by the end, you'll be able to say I can add and subtract mixed numbers with regrouping. I know I showed you an adding one. I'll do a few more. Plus, I'll show you how to do the subtracting ones. So the problem, how can you determine the difference of the lengths shown? Well, let's think about what does difference mean. So on your notes, difference means the answer to a subtraction problem. Or you can just write subtracting, right? It means we need to subtract these two numbers to figure out what the difference is. We're comparing them. All that means we need to subtract. So if we think about what the equation would be, we take 4 1/8 minus 2 3/4. So how could I solve that? Well, let's go ahead and walk through the problem. 4 1/8 minus 2 2/3. So we do the same, first part the same. So we think about our multiples, 3, 6, 9, 12. Hopefully this is getting a little faster now. Oh, 24. This one's times 8. So I get 16. This one's times 3 and times 3. Whoa, hold on. I cannot do 3/24, take away 16/24. My top fraction is smaller. So here's where I need to regroup. So on your notes, it says sometimes we need to regroup, is that word, when we subtract mixed numbers. We need to take one of the wholes and turn it into a fraction. So on your notes, it's regroup, turn one of the wholes into a fraction. So I would write this down so you can see what it looks like. So I'm going to take one of the wholes. So now I only have 3 wholes. And I'm going to add on a whole over here. Now, how can I write a whole number as a fraction? Well, I just need to write the same number on top of itself, right? We'll do some more examples in a minute. But like in this case, I'm going to do 24/24. I always want it to match this denominator. So now, it's like my new fraction on top is 27/24. So it's like I have 3 wholes, 27/24, because I took one of the wholes and I wrote it as a fraction. So it's like I took it away from here, I added it on over here. So it's still in that top fraction. I just moved it from whole number land to fraction land. You can think about it that way. So now I can do 27/24 minus 16/24, which gives me 11/24. And now 3 minus 2. So I always want to start with my fractions and not with my whole numbers in case I need to regroup. Now, on your notes, it has a spot to write out some examples of whole numbers as fractions. So 3/3, that equals 1 whole. All of these equal 1 whole pizza, 1 whole candy bar. 3 out of the 3 pieces. 4 out of the 4 pieces. 9 out of the 9 pieces. 12 out of 12. 24 out of 24, like we just saw. Anytime the top matches the bottom, it's like I have all the pieces. Because this is how many pieces it's broken into. I have all of them. So here, when I added on that 24/24, I was really just adding on a whole. Okay, so again, I was just moving it. I wasn't taking it away. I was just changing the form of the number. Just like we do when we group regularly. We'll do another example if you're still feeling confused. Don't worry. Okay, so I should say this is where you could change them into improper fractions. If you like changing into improper, then find a common denominator, then change it back. Then you don't have to worry about regrouping. If you'd rather do improper, that is fine. All right. So Gia and Oren are having a lemonade sale. They sell 4 2/3 quarts the first hour and 3 1/2 quarts the second hour. How many quarts did they sell in 2 hours? So this is another addition example, right? So go ahead and give it a try, and then if you're not sure, just keep going and I'll explain it. All right, do you get it? Again, sometimes I think we really just need to try some out. So don't get hung up if you're not getting it yet. So I'm adding, right? They talked about in the 2 hours. So we know we need to add it together. Finding our common denominator, times 2 times 3. So now if I add it together, if I add my fractions, I get 7/6. But 7/6 is improper, right? 7 is bigger than 6. So then I have to say, okay, well, 6/6 is 1 whole. So I have 1 whole and 1 more 6th. So then I take this whole. It's like I almost carry it over here. 4 plus 3 is 7, plus this 1 whole is 8. So I have 8 and 1/6 is my answer, right? You might have thought 7 and 7/6, which is technically right, but I just don't mix up the whole number with the improper fraction like that. That's a little strange. So I just need to take that improper fraction, turn it into a mixed number, and then combine it with my other wholes. This next one is going to be another subtraction problem. So I am going to have you try it. If you're feeling confused, just guess and then I'll explain it, just like always. Don't get too stuck. But if you want some help as well, and I'm free, I'm more than happy to do that. So what is the difference? 5 2/5 minus 3 2/3. Go ahead and try. Did you get it? Again, if not, that's okay. Hopefully you gave it a try, tried something. So we have 5 2/5 minus 3 2/3. So again, my first step is normal. Rewrite the fractions with a common denominator. It's going to be 15. This is times 5. So I get 10. This is times 3. So I get 6. Now make sure you do not subtract upside down, meaning you don't take the bottom and take away the top. We always take the top and subtract the bottom. So I can't do 6 minus 10. So I need to go over here, borrow from my whole. I'm taking 1 whole away from my whole number land. Now I need to put it in fraction land. So I take my denominator and think, what's 1 whole in 15ths? If I divide a pizza into 15, well, 15 15ths is all of them. So now you can sort of cross this out and just add it right there. I like to write out the steps so you can see. So here I'd have 21 15ths. So I just took 1 from 5, made it 4, added the whole with the fractions. So now I can do 21 15ths minus 10 15ths and get 11 15ths. 4 minus 3 is 1. Don't need to simplify this one, so I am good to go. I know this video is a little longer, but this is a little trickier, so I am gonna do a couple more. So 4 5/6 plus 3 3/4. What is the sum? Give it a try. All right, hope you got it. Let's see, we got 4 5/6 plus 3 3/4. So common denominator. I could use 24. I'm going to use 12, so I don't have to, the less likely I'll have to simplify. And again, if you need to write out the multiples still, that's fine. I'm just trying for time's sake to keep things moving since you've been doing that a number of lessons now. So I'm adding. Make sure you do pay attention to that now that we're sort of mixed together. So I added the fractions, got an improper fraction. I'm going to stop and I'm going to turn it into a mixed number. So I can think, okay, 12 12ths, that's 1 whole. I still have 7 extra pieces. So 1 whole and 7 12ths. The good news is in problems like this, it's only ever going to be 1 whole. Other times it might not be, but in problems like this it will be. So then I take it and add it on to my other holes. 4 plus 3 plus 1 is 8, and 7/12. All right, one more. This one will be another subtracting one. What is the difference? 6 1/8 minus 4 1/3. Go for it. All right, hope you got it. Again, you can tell right away if you think about the size of the fractions that if I'm taking an eighth and subtracting a third is definitely bigger than an eighth. So I know right off the bat that I'm going to have to borrow. This I'm going to use 24. This is times 3, so I get 3 times 8, so I get 8. Can't do 3 minus 8, right? So I need to borrow. That becomes a 5. I'm adding on a whole over here, so I'm adding on 24 24ths, giving me 27 24ths. Now I can take away 8 27 minus 8. If you need to go over here and actually write it out, that's fine. Otherwise, just count it out. We'll get 19 24ths. 5 minus 4 is 1. We don't always get 1. I feel like the examples we did were all 1 here. It doesn't always work out that way. If you need more help, this is tricky, so feel free to ask. Good luck.